Whoa, alright. What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video here today. As you guys can tell already from the title, we're doing a What's in My Toolbox tool tour. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go over what I have in my toolbox, kind of what I use. And this by no means is what I started with. I started off with a little toolbox you keep in your car. So I'll just show you guys what I got to work on my cars and we'll go from there. So let's just get started. So first off, guys, the newest addition in the shop is the Everlast Power Make 140. Now this machine is super easy and awesome to weld with. Definitely recommend you guys check it out if you guys are looking for a welder. Right now it's currently on sale for I believe $320, which I believe is like 80 bucks off. So go ahead and check it out. Insane. Obviously it is a MIG. We have our gas bottle over there. I will be actually soon, I'm thinking about making my own welding cart. Use the welder to make the cart. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So that currently is sitting on obviously the bench because, like I said, we don't have a cart. And then, moving on to the top of our table, just have our vise. Eventually, we will be making a nice workbench, nice made out of wood. So stay tuned for that, guys. We will be getting this garage, set up how she should be set up here very shortly. This toolbox is actually very awesome as well. This is a Husky toolbox. I believe it was around 290 bucks. Now I think it's even cheaper. So if you guys are looking for a really awesome, great beginner toolbox, look no further. This is honestly, I'm really happy with it. You can roll it around. It's easy enough to maneuver. Pretty awesome woodworking bench top, so that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead. I'm going to set you guys up on the camera, and we'll go ahead and see what's inside. All right, so ideally this would be kind of more of a two-man filming job, but hey, we're making do with what we got. So I'm going to try and show you guys a little bit what we got going on here, and maybe you can kind of help you guys get a sense for, what you can, search for if you guys are looking or in the market for some tools. Now, like I said, by no means you need all this stuff. I started off with literally a socket set, a few screwdrivers, a hammer, and that's actually honestly about it. So it has grown over the years. I actually just got this toolbox last year, so within a year this is kind of where it's at. But obviously we have a full array of sockets. I'm just gonna double check, make sure you guys can see this. So we have everything from metric to standard, from 1/2 inch all the way down to 1/4 inch. So basically, everything is really handy, especially these deep sockets, guys. One thing I am missing is currently 1/2 inch deep sockets. That's one thing I really want to kind of invest in. Also another 1/2 inch impact would be awesome, like one of those DeWalt ones. Here we just have kind of your torque bits and just some adapters, for these Husky little bits right here. You can kind of drive it in, reverse it, loosen stuff up with those. Got our Torx bits, got our hex keys. These are kind of cool. I'm missing one of them, but what they are is basically just little sockets that actually, if you guys have stripped bolts, you use these and it actually kind of sucks down into the bolt as you loosen it. So pretty handy. I lost the most important one for a 10mm bolt, of course, right? It's always the 10. As you can see, like I said, full assortment of everything and anything you need. We also have we have our 1/2 inch, and we also have our 3/8 ratchet. I actually lost my 1/4 inch ratchet in the S12 that I built last year, so she's a goner as of now. Also have our assortment of kind of extensions and stuff like that. I'll probably bring you guys up in on close when we're done here. But safety glasses, you want to make sure you have some safety eye protection, measuring tape, some electrical tape, which is just kind of there because it's the thing you kind of go to if you need it the most. Over here we have our bigger sockets, so I believe like a 36 is what you use for axle nuts on 240s. So we kind of had to buy that. We have our torque wrench here, which is super handy. Craftsman, I got it for a really good deal. I think it was about 40 bucks at Sears. It was a clearance, obviously, but it's been great. I actually have another torque wrench, 3/8 that, use for motor stuff. Over here we just have our assortment of hardware, guys. Just kind of a Harbor Freight. Honestly, most of it is like those little hardware kit assortments. So nuts, bolts, washers, we kind of have everything stuff here. A bunch of tack screws just to tack some stuff in. The one cubby is just dedicated for 10mm bolts to, basically you could assemble a 240 with just this little cubby right here. A couple flashlights, if you want to get into something and see where you're at. These DeWalt razors, I actually broke my blade off, but I got some more, so no worries. But these, honestly, guys, are golden. Really nice to have on you at all times. And just some markers, some Sharpies to kind of write on stuff if we're doing some cutting and measurement kind of stuff like that. So that's honestly it for the first drawer. So moving on now to the second drawer. Here, as you guys can see, we have our assortment of screwdrivers. These ones, honestly, I don't recommend them. They work fine. However, if you guys would like to get some decent screwdrivers, go ahead and pick up the Craftsman set. Really good set. I honestly will probably go ahead and upgrade these eventually. These are just, like I said, Harbor Freight ones I bought last year just to kind of get some in the toolbox. But that's pretty much that. In the back here, we have just our assortment of coilover wrenches, as well as a level back here. She's just kind of chilling. And then here we just have our assortment of Allen keys, picks. What else? We got some deep pinning tools, more Allen key stuff. We have a shift knob. I don't know why, honestly, I have no idea why that's here. We have just like some spreaders, some chisels. We have a center punch, you know what I mean, for drilling. And here we just have some hose clamps, some fuses, and this is just like random thread locker and some blue tape. Second one down, as you guys can see, we have a really nice assortment here of wrenches, cutters, pliers, vice grips, crescent wrenches, just kind of anything you would need, scissors. So one thing I do recommend, guys, is just getting yourself one of these. Milwaukee, I really have big love for Milwaukee tools. I would love to kind of base my toolbox around their stuff. It's really nice. But also some tin snips. Milwaukee tin snips are great. These wire cutters, strippers are awesome. These needle nose pliers, guys, well actually these ones aren't too long, but they have longer ones which are even better. And a lot of this stuff, guys, you'd be surprised, a lot of decent, even Pittsburgh, I believe these are Pittsburgh brand from Harbor Freight, are lifetime warranty. So as long as you get yourself a decent set of tools, I mean, you're kind of set for life. And we just have our assortment of vice grips here, kind of metalworking, some alligator pliers. That's essentially it, from big to small, kind of anything you need to get the job done. These are pretty cool, C-clip spanner, C-clip wrench. Basically for the shifter, you have that C-clip that you have to kind of go in, and you can actually reverse this. So it does it opposite, kind of, you know. Moving on down, we kind of have, okay, what do we have here? So we got a set of die and tap die kit. This is a Pittsburgh one, obviously not the greatest. This, hey, if anyone needs an RB2002 sensor, got one here for you. I don't need it. We have a wire brush just for kind of some metal stuff. Still has a price tag on it. I just bought it not too long ago if you guys would have seen my videos. Got some files here and there. This kind of stuff is nice if you're working on kind of finishing and getting some edges nice and right. You got, you know, a circular one to get like some nice edges and corners. And then you just have this little beveled edge one that kind of has a little bit of a radius on top, so you get a little bit of a curve. But that's that. We have drill bits here. We have some more drill bits and more Milwaukee stuff. Like I said, big fan. Some cutoff discs for our grinder, grinding wheel. Oh, we also have some helicoil inserts. These are actually really awesome. If you guys strip something, let's say in your head, like for an exhaust stud or something like that, you drill it out, one size bigger, tap it, and put this helicoil in. Basically, renews the threads. So there's that. Oh, and also we got a big old G clamp, C clamp. And then down here we have basically just an assortment of random stuff. Here's that 3/8 torque wrench I was telling you guys about. We have our grinder, which is definitely essential. This, you guys are wondering, this is actually just like a little attachment you can get at Home Depot. It just puts on top of a spray can instead of using your finger. It's way easier, nicer to hold. We have a timing gun in here. Gets used every now and then. Soldering iron for some wiring. These are really nice and crucial when you're doing some kind of fabrication, metal work, right angle, stuff like that. Oh gosh. Rivet gun. This drawer is kind of messy, so I'm kind of sorry about that. Rivet gun. These are all really basic things, guys. Really cheap. We have a multimeter back here that definitely could use a kind of a upgrade. Moving on to the next side, we have, what do we got here? So we have some rubber, what are they? Rubber insulated clamp. I guess I call these little C clamps, little J clamp, I don't know, just little alligator clip clamps. They're nice, they look good, really clean. Some hose kind of clamps, stuff like that. Some rubber vacuum caps, just in case, you never know you would need those. This is like a driving kit. So you got kind of basically anything you need for a driver. We have some solder right here, it's just kind of randomly chilling. Okay, what do we got here? Some glazing spot putty. This is like for some body work. You can use fiberglass. We just have some super glue, and then here we have our assortment of gasket maker, this kind of stuff if you ever need to kind of seal things up, water pump, General Nissan, actually, OEM stuff. But yeah, you know, straightforward. We have some fittings here, AN stuff, and just some brass kind of vacuum stuff here as well. Just kind of things that we need to get the job done. Moving on down, here we have our assortment of hand wrenches. It'd probably be a little bit nicer if I can get these set up a little bit cleaner and hung up even somewhere, but definitely go ahead and grab yourself some wrenches. Ratchet wrenches, guys. These things are probably the greatest tool ever invented. Definitely make jobs a whole lot easier. However, you don't really want to use these to get, to break nuts off, as you can kind of mess up the mechanism. So ideally, it'd be nice to get yourself a set of long wrenches, which I currently do not yet have. However, would love to kind of, like I said, I'm still building, I'm still growing my toolbox. So this is a basic setup. We have a bunch of sanding wheels here for the air grinder. We have, I forgot if these are like a stud finder. And that completes that drawer. All right, now in this drawer here, we have some more randoms. We just got a bunch of hole saws here if we ever need to cut some holes for some intercooler piping and such, such like that. We have some tack rag. This tack cloth is really nice for taking up any dust and dirt particles when you're painting. Scotch-Brite, gotta love Scotch-Brite. So a temperature gun, some heat shrink, some wiring, electrical connection stuff, some Teflon tape, some big old 0 gauge battery terminals, and we have a little, little air tool stuff here, and that takes care of that. Last drawer. Oh man, can you guys see? This is the drawer I'm least. This is the drawer I'm least pumped about. It's basically just the junk drawer. We got our assortment of just random nuts and bolts here. So if we ever need anything, this is the place to look. However, I would love to get some better organization in that. We have our gloves, which we never use, which we probably should use. Extra sockets, and this is like a vacuum pump kit, which I think is crap. I can't get it to work. Just random parts here and there. We have some heat tape, more tack screws down there, clutch alignment tool, just randoms. But that's pretty much it on the outside of the toolbox. One thing I did forget to go ahead and whip out is the drill and the impact. And this is just a little chuck insert impact. However, you guys would be pretty surprised. It's pretty decent. It can't rip lug nuts off, which is my only kind of bummer with it, which, I mean, what do you expect? It's not even like a 3/8 dedicated. It's like a chuck insert thing. Here we have a nice, cordless stuff is great, to be honest. It depends on the tool. I wouldn't recommend like a cordless Sawzall because I feel like those would just drain very quickly. Vise, we talked about that. That will be getting mounted to a workbench here very shortly. We just have a little magnet here to actually just, anything to lose a bolt, which is super handy. Big old clamps here to hold stuff together. These screwdrivers, Felipe over here, really handy. Lot of distance here. Now this is, let's say, for kind of reaching down for a radiator hose. I just kind of had this guy chilling because she's just a long one. And then here is pretty cool. This is actually a magnet. This is actually used for welding. You can create right angles and stuff like that, 45-degree stuff. But it's pretty cool. This switch right here basically turns it on and off. So I turned it off. Now, it doesn't want to stick, but flip it on, and she's on there. So that's pretty neat, pretty nifty. All right, and then moving on along, we have a couple jacks. Your funny story about these guys, I actually ordered just one initially, and then 2 showed up. And actually, unfortunately, I thought I got hooked up. Turns out I actually paid for 2, so bummer. But honestly, for the price, having 2 of these is super, super, super convenient. Really makes everything a whole lot easier, more than you'd actually figure they would. Shout out to all my hockey puck gang. If you guys are part of the hockey puck gang, toss it down in the comments below. You guys know what's up. But these are just fine, low profile, that work great. Here we have our engine stand, which is actually currently holding our KA for the budget build. Soon to get the ARP head studs so we can go ahead and replace the head gasket, clean up the head, slap it all back together, toss it in the motor, and toss it in the engine bay in the car, and get this thing fired up. Here, this tool, oh man, honestly, I wish I would have wrote like tallies as to how many motors this thing has pulled, because this has seen so much use, mainly, honestly, with my car. I've pulled that motor in and out probably about 20 times, so soon to probably just do it again just because we can, clean things up a little bit and do some wire tucking. We have a lot of plans for this car, guys, don't you worry. But engine hoist, super, super convenient, makes things obviously a whole lot easier when you guys are yanking a motor out. Very basic video, just wanted to make this to kind of show you guys that you do not need anything crazy to build a car. Like I said, I built that car with actually all of this stuff. All of this stuff you see here besides the engine hoist was not here while I was building my car. So that just goes to show you guys, you don't need any fancy tools, man. It's just get out there and do it, you know what I mean? Get out there and get your hands dirty, boys. Now again, I just want to give a huge thank you and a huge shout out to everyone's name that's listed in the description under a Patreon supporter means the absolute world to me. And if you guys are a silver or better membership Patreon, you guys are watching this video 24 hours before it goes on YouTube. So shout out to all you guys as well. But yeah, let's close this video out. But for real though, thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I figured it was kind of a cool idea. I remember years and years ago, Mighty Car Mods made this video kind of like this, so I kind of got a little bit of inspiration from them. Shout out to Mighty Car Mods. But honestly, I figured this would be a cool one for you guys to see what's going on in my toolbox. That's pretty much the main gist of stuff. You guys, there's not much, you know what I mean? Like, but it's enough to get the job done. So short video today, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.